I'm about to show you how to get your ex back better than ever before and stay together forever according to science. Not with magic spells or manipulation, but with an approach that's based on raw, real, scientific data collected by accredited quantum physicists and researchers. Everything you thought you knew about reality is about to change in a powerful way. I'm talking about manifestation. I'm going to include links to the studies discussed in this video in the description below so that you can deep dive down these rabbit holes on your own. And please know that even if the ideas in this video seem confusing, you can still get your ex back without understanding the science behind the method. You do not need to understand quantum physics at all in order to be able to manifest. Just like you've probably purchased a TV without knowing exactly how it works. You just learned how to operate the remote. Similarly, you do not need to understand how manifestation works on a scientific level in order to manifest like a pro. So what is manifestation really? It's not magic spells or making a wish to the universe or even just saying some nice affirmations. Manifestation is simply a reflection of the way you live your day-to-day life. Everything is a manifestation, whether you know it, believe in it, or not. It is comprised of 5 pillars: beliefs, thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. Manifestation is based on quantum physics. It is the process by which your 5 pillars influence your quantum field, which then creates a signal that collapses waves into physical existence. This theory states that we are constantly shifting realities at every moment with every choice we make, every thought that we think, and that everything that could happen can happen as a direct result of our 5 pillars. This parallels the many worlds theory, which states that there are many worlds which exist in parallel at the same space and time as our own. Cited from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, March 24th, 2002. We move across these parallel realities as a result of our 5 pillars. So, according to this theory, you manifested your relationship with your partner. You also manifested the breakup. And you can manifest your reunion no matter how difficult it seems, as long as you know how to manifest correctly. Below, you'll find a link to an article detailing the connection between quantum physics and manifestation, and a link explaining the many worlds theory. There is proof of these theories as well, my favorite of which is the double-slit experiment. In this experiment, scientists shot a concentrated beam of particles at a wall. They recorded that the distribution of those particles changed based on whether the experiment was being observed by a researcher or not. When under observation, the particle distribution resulted in a pattern that the scientist expected it to follow. However, when there was no observer, the particle distribution was erratic, and there was no logical explanation for the randomized pattern of particles. This seems to prove that, even on an atomic level, matter behaves differently based on whether or not it is being observed. And when it is observed, it behaves according to the observer's expectations. Therefore, it can also be inferred that our life circumstances follow the patterns we expect it to, namely through our beliefs. Our beliefs dictate our other 4 pillars, our thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. This combination of our 5 pillars determines what we experience on every aspect of our lives, including the outcome of our relationships. There is a link to the double-slit experiment in the description below. Similarly, there was an experiment where two groups of rats were set to complete the same maze. Each group was timed to see how quickly they got through the maze. One group of rats was labeled very smart, and the other was labeled very unintelligent. The rats that were labeled very smart completed the maze twice as quickly as their counterparts. But the crazy thing is, the rats in both groups all had the same level of intelligence. Bob Rosenthal, PhD, who is an experimental psychologist at the University of California, Riverside, simply labeled the two groups differently, though they were intellectually indistinguishable from each other. But the researchers who were told to observe the rats as they completed the maze didn't know this fact. They simply observed the rate of completion for both groups under the assumption that one group was smart and one group was not. This again is proof that our beliefs are shaping our reality. Furthermore, it's proof that your beliefs about your ex are causing them to show up the way they are now, and that changing your beliefs about them will also allow your ex to change. That said, you're not actually changing your ex. Everyone has free will, which cannot be controlled. What's actually happening is that you're moving yourself to those different layers of parallel reality with a different version of your ex who appears to have changed, but is actually different from the previous version that you were manifesting. You're manifesting different versions of your ex all the time. Your ex still is completely acting of their own free will because you cannot control another human being. You can only move yourself to a different reality based on your beliefs. Then there is the gateway process. This one is a little too technical for my tastes, but ultimately it is a fascinating and proven way to alter your consciousness that has been around for decades. This process uses brainwave output to alter consciousness and escape the constraints of time and space. In a now declassified CIA document, we learn that the gateway experience and associated hemi-synch technique is designed for humans to achieve this altered state of consciousness and establish a coherent pattern of perception in a new realized dimension. This is from Vice, How to Escape the Confines of Time and Space, according to the CIA, by Toby Campion. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. In simpler terms, you can change your entire reality just by changing your mind. You'll find a link to the declassified CIA report in the description below. Next, let's review the effects of visualization on reality. Visualizing takes advantage of mirror neurons and motor cortex activation. In simple terms, we are more likely to experience the 3D manifestation of things that we have already practiced visualizing. This fact has been proven in countless studies, especially in relation to sports like basketball and golf. Studies show that people who visualize their sport improve at a similar, if not better rate, compared to those who are physically practicing the sport. In one study, participants were divided into 3 groups. Group 1 physically practiced basketball on a court for 30 days. Group 2 was instructed to only practice basketball for 30 days in their minds, imagining every time they threw the ball as they mentally practiced their shots. And Group 3, the control, was instructed to not physically play basketball nor imagine playing it. At the conclusion of this experiment, Group 3, the control, did not improve their game at all. But Group 1, who physically practiced basketball, improved by 24%. And shockingly, Group 2, who only practiced in their minds, improved by 23%, proving that what we rehearse in our minds can actually impact our physical world just as much as taking a physical action. But visualization has much wider applications than sports alone. The mind cannot distinguish a visualized scene from a real one. So we respond the same way, whether the experience is real or imagined. This rewires the way we think about past and future events and alters our present experience by shifting our beliefs and expectations. And since perspective shapes reality, visualization is an excellent tool for manifesting when done correctly. The placebo effect is another great demonstration of the power of the mind over reality. Study after study shows that when participants are administered sugar pills in pharmaceutical studies, they experience measurable physical improvements in their medical conditions. In fact, about 1/3 of patients in these studies experience relief from placebo pills alone. This is proof that simply believing that things are going to get better causes them to get better. Just like believing your relationship with your ex can improve actually leads to an undeniable improvement in your relationship. Alternatively, hypochondriacs, which are people who are abnormally anxious about their health, actually manifest poorer health outcomes for themselves. A new study of people in Sweden who were diagnosed with hypochondria found that they had an 84% increased risk of early death and lived about 5 years fewer than people without the disorder, according to WebMD. In the same way, people who are very pessimistic about their chances of saving their relationship with an ex are far less likely to get back together. And finally, the famous rice experiment by Dr. Emoto. In this experiment, there are 3 jars of rice. Every day for 1 month, you take out each of the 3 jars at the same time. 1 jar is labeled love. Each day, you say positive affirmations and kind words to that jar of rice only. 1 jar is labeled hate, and you say awful, hurtful words to that jar only. And 1 jar of rice is the control, which is taken out at the same time as the other 2 jars, but is not spoken to at all. After 1 month, the control jar will have deteriorated somewhat, which is to be expected. However, the jar marked hate becomes a grotesque medical hazard, far decayed beyond the control. Whereas the jar marked love appears to have barely changed at all. I know there has been some criticism of this study, but I tried it myself, and my results mirrored those claimed in Dr. Emoto's original findings. This shows that your words have a physical effect on your reality, even on something that doesn't have ears, like rice. Certainly, the way you speak to or about your ex affects whether or not you're able to save the relationship. I hope the studies I've shared with you today have opened your mind to the way that your 5 pillars are creating your entire reality. Your 5 pillars are the reason you met your partner in the first place. They're also the reason that you broke up. And if you choose wisely with your next steps, your 5 pillars will also be the reason that you got back together. That's why I created the reunion program, to take all the guesswork out of how to reshape your 5 pillars to save your relationship. This program is statistically proven to make any ex 430% more likely to come back long-term compared to trying to get them back all on your own. It's also been shown to work far better than any other Get Your Ex Back program that I've heard of, which is why so many of my clients finally get their exes back with the reunion program after wasting thousands of dollars on other programs out there that don't actually work. A statistical analysis of data from hundreds of my clients shows that the reunion program has a 95% success rate for clients to regain contact with an ex after being blocked. The median time for this result is just 14 days. 92% of my clients report seeing their exes again after enrolling the program. The median time for this is just 15 days. For cases where the ex was dating someone else, my clients were able to safely remove the third party 86% of the time, with a median time frame of 28 days. And 76.5% of my clients report getting back with their exes, with a median time of just 30 days. Of course, individual results may vary, but these success rates are absolutely unheard of. And I am so proud of all of my clients for having the courage to save their relationships using science-backed manifestation and creating these phenomenal results for themselves. If you'd like access to simple step-by-step instructions to repair your relationship for good, visit manifest-best.com/courses or visit the link in my description to start your reunion today. This is the same method that I used to manifest my ex back in just 3 weeks and marry him 8 months later. And the method hundreds of my clients have used already as well. I am confident that joining this program will be one of the best decisions you ever make in your life, according to science. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Coach Katie with Manifest Best. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content just like this, and happy manifesting!